respond to this report, and if not accepting all of the recommendations, reveal why not.
Ms Purcell.
Thank you, President. My adjournment matter this evening is for the Minister for the Prevention of Family Violence, and the action I seek is for her to consider the case for a domestic violence disclosure scheme and a domestic violence offenders registry in Victoria. In 2014, domestic violence was declared a national emergency in Australia. Still, in 2023, the single most unsafe place for a woman in Australia is inside her own home. Currently, 8 years on from the Royal Commission into Family Violence, in the absence of significant and effective primary prevention mechanisms or strategy across our entire country, including Victoria, rates of domestic and family violence and sexual violence continue to increase. The introduction of a domestic violence disclosure scheme that allows an individual to gain access to a potential partner's relevant and contemporary history of violence is critical to avoiding new women and children becoming victimised. Under a disclosure scheme, a woman would no longer need to meet the present qualifying threshold of having an act of violence committed against her to obtain information relevant to her safety. Such a scheme carries further utility to mitigate risk for victim survivors wishing to enter into a relationship with a new potential partner. In conjunction, a domestic violence offenders registry would provide a means to effectively monitor and manage highly violent and recidivistic offenders within our community. In Victoria, the intervention of a Royal Commission, national and state-based action plans have failed to result in a reduction in the rates of domestic and sexual violence. Despite all 227 recommendations from the Royal Commission having been implemented, it remains that our system is response-based in nature and not geared towards primary prevention. There remains extensive gaps in preventing domestic violence before it occurs, and perpetrators are inadequately managed or monitored within the community. Most systems, resources and expenditure are only relevant once an act of violence has occurred. Advocates see these schemes as not a solution, but an essential component to prioritising primary prevention initiatives throughout Victoria. I hope the Minister will consider committing to meeting with advocates for the scheme and the registry in order to prioritise primary prevention as opposed to our existing strategy of harm minimisation in domestic violence throughout Victoria.
Minister.
President, there were 13 adjournment matters this evening to various ministers, and I'll ensure that there's a response forthcoming in relation to Ms Bart's adjournment matter